Welcome to Graceful Healing, a podcast to get straight talk about healing and living again. My name is Maureen Lake. I'm a holistic health coach, speaker, author, and thyroid disease fighter. Each week, I'll be bringing you graceful conversations to inspire you to seek new ways to hit the reset button to catapult your health and vitality to new levels. Listen in and open your heart to all the new possibilities. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hi, Michelle. How are you today?
Good morning, Maureen. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm really excited about the challenge that we have going on in our private Facebook group. The fact that people are participating in some of our suggestions about sleep is pretty awesome, really.
Yeah, I know. I'm super excited. How are you sleeping any better?
A little.
Yeah.
But one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about, because I know with your health coach training, it was really a lot of exercise and a different type of philosophy than the one I went to. And I also know that exercise is key to getting a good night's sleep. So I thought maybe since we're doing our sleep challenge, we could also talk about exercise and how it can promote your sleep and actually disturb your sleep. So are you ready for that?
I am ready and so excited to share some of the things that I've experienced as well as learned as part of my health coach training.
Oh, good. Because I see you as really the expert in this area. You've been, not only because of your training, but you've also been an athlete. You really have your entire life.
Well, I feel very blessed that not a competitive athlete, but an active athlete, I guess you would say. Really, it's just feels like it's part of my DNA, which is fortunate because I know how hard it is to start an exercise program for a lot of people. Oh,
it is. It's so hard.
It is. And today I have some firsthand experience actually, because, so thank you for letting me kind of share some of this, epiphany.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear.
So I think I maybe mentioned the first time we talked that I had been experiencing some bursitis. And so I was really on a very strict no exercise regime for probably the last 8 weeks.
Oh, that must have killed you.
Yeah. And it's funny because I filled the time, I was like, oh, wow, I have all this time on the weekend, but suddenly that got filled. And then it really was this week where I just noticed, or I connected the dots, that my sleep pattern has been disrupted by my lack of exercise.
Oh.
And really, I don't know why I didn't figure this out sooner, but I just realized that my inactivity was, certainly playing a role in my waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to go back to sleep. So I went back and looked for some authentic studies to verify this, that it was more than just, Michelle saying that this is fact. And I came across a really interesting study that was done at the NIH in Bethesda, Maryland.
Stopping grounds.
Yeah, I know. I feel like, it's really valid when the NIH takes it on. And so the study showed that 30 to 40% of adults report symptoms of insomnia. And you had mentioned that last week, I think, when we talked. And, to me, that's just, it's horrifying.
I know.
That one out of, what is that? Like, 1 out of 3.5 people can't sleep at night. So I looked a little bit further into this, and the study was actually done with 1,000 adults between the age of 23 and 60. So a really wide range, not just saying that, as you get older, your sleep is impaired.
Right.
But the key thing in this study was that exercisers say they sleep better. And, I think I've known that. I think, I've confirmed that with other people that when they exercise, they're more tired and therefore they sleep better. But the interesting thing about this study is that it showed that with only 10 minutes a day, you can improve your sleep. 10 minutes of physical activity. Now, that that's mind blowing in my mind.
It is.
because, we think of, so many of us think of exercises, go to the gym or ride a bike. It takes an hour to go for a walk, or run or whatever. And a lot of people just, that's overwhelming for one thing to start, but also may not feel that they have time with all the other commitments.
Exactly. And also sometimes people are overtraining and they don't even realize it.
Oh, exactly. And I have a prime example of that. Not that I wasn't training for an event, but I had added some exercise to my already exercise routine, and I wasn't being careful to say that's too much, to do all that and not let my body rest. So lots of good lessons here for me. And this thing about sleep is probably the most powerful that I'm feeling right now, because to say that even just 10 minutes of walking, will help.
Even
now,
just walking?
Just walking.
Wow.
Says right here in this study, simply adding a 10-minute walk to your daily routine could improve your chances of getting a good night's sleep. So that's, amazing.
That is amazing. And that's something really anybody can do.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now, imagine if just 10 minutes could help, what, 20-minute walk might do. Or, if you build up to that, and maybe at some point in, a few months, you really could do an hour walk or an hour bike ride or swim or something, that could really, you'll feel better overall. You'll probably, have better muscle tone. You might lose some weight. You're probably sleeping better, so you're not eating as much. That's the other point.
Exactly.
Do you notice that you eat more when you aren't sleeping?
I'm not a good person to ask, because honestly, I don't eat a lot. Period. I don't know why. I just don't. I never have.
Are you one of those people you just eat to live?
I am. I'm one of the people that I wish they just invent a pill that you could swallow and be done. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Not me. I'm always thinking about what I'm going to eat next. And that I noticed, that was another thing I noticed in the last few weeks, is because I'm not waking up in the middle of the night to eat, but I am eating more throughout the day because I'm not exercising. So it's really an important part of our, health and well-being is to
absolutely.
Get our body, get some activity in. So one of these other things that I wanted to point out to, that was kind of mind-blowing for me, is how, we can all attest to becoming more of a sedentary culture with TV and computers and Netflix. I know that kind of rules my day, but this study also showed that people who sat for fewer than 8 hours a day were more likely to say that they had a very good sleep quality compared to people who sit longer.
And
how about that?
Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly, because when I was teaching and literally never sat down except to eat lunch, I slept like a rock every night.
Oh, interesting. So you've got real life experience there. Yeah, I've really noticed that my job has become, I'm sitting a lot more either in meetings or, just at my computer. And, it's part of our culture right now. So whatever we can do to increase our activity, even if it's not a 10-minute walk, but it's using a stand-up desk or taking breaks and, walking down the hall instead of sending an email.
I know. Like those stand-up desks are really cool. And some of them even have like a treadmill built into them.
Yeah. I do have a stand-up desk.
Oh, you do?
And I love it. Yeah. It's actually one that can go, it's motorized, so I can sit or stand.
Oh, cool.
But I need to get the treadmill. That would be really cool.
I know. That would be.
And I know Ed has also a stand-up desk, and he probably stands at his a good 4, 5, 6 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Which the other day he mentioned that his back was starting to hurt from standing so much. So I think the best solution is to not do one thing all the time.
Right.
Is like, if you're going to stand, you take breaks to sit and give your back and your legs a rest. But also if you're sitting, you take a break and stand.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing that you found that stuff out. I'm still like trying to process the 10 minutes a day.
Yeah. Well, I figure, if you think about, most people that are non-exercisers, maybe they just move about the house or, go from the car to the office and then back and then, go home and maybe make dinner, sit and watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that far out of reality for, a lot of people. And, if you just throw in there that maybe, a 10-minute walk would definitely be doable.
Right.
And also have this kind of a benefit. I mean, who wouldn't want to try that?
Exactly. And the thing that I find so interesting about it is because so many women and men too that have any kind of chronic illness, they tend to overtrain. And that can just cause so much more inflammation, fatigue your adrenals, cause leaky gut, all sorts of stuff by overtraining. And to think that you can cut back on your training and still get the same type of benefit and get the benefit of being able to sleep well, because we all know that we don't sleep very well as it is.
Right.
That's pretty amazing because...
Yeah. It is.
Because again, with the overtraining, a lot of us end up with sore muscles and from the inflammation. And some key indicators of overtraining is you keep on working out, but your performance is declining or your muscle strength is decreasing. And those are all things that we need to be aware of. And it's so easy to overtrain, right? I know my schedule, I have, X, Y, and Z days I do Pilates, and the others I'm walking because I'm trying to train for this Camino that I'm doing over in Spain. And so it's I have days that I know I've done too much.
Yeah.
And some of those days I should just cut back, especially on my duration of my walking to half the amount of time. I'll have the same benefit.
Yeah. And, I think also what you said in there that really resonates with me is that we need to listen to our body. Mm-hmm. So many times we override that, whether it's about health issues or, exercise or whatever, is we're not listening. If you're that tired or your calves hurt that badly, one day, that's your body saying, I need a little break here, not to stop,
right?
but to just either cut back that day or take a day off if needed.
So one thing that I've always heard about is the power of turmeric. And I've always heard about it with how it aids in inflammation. And I know my sister Teresa is a faithful user of turmeric. But do you know much about it, Michelle?
I don't know as much, except I hear about it all the time. and it's one of those things that, will pop up in pretty much every article or newsletter. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a miracle spice. I know it's from the Middle East and it's yellow and you can take it in a capsule or you can use it in your food and tea. Mm-hmm. But I've just recently read an article and I was just blown away by all the things that turmeric can help with. One of them being that it's very helpful for your liver.
Oh.
Which here again, if your liver needs some cleansing, that could be causing, these sleepless nights. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like if there does not seem to be any harm in turmeric. I'm thinking I will just add that into my regime.
Yeah, that's been a spice used for centuries. So
yeah, and seems so simple, right?
I know. That's ashwagandha is something that seems so foreign to people in our country, but has been being used, throughout the world for God knows how long. But it's all these spices and medicinal things are just kind of coming into play in the mainstream America, which has decades and decades and centuries of research behind it. So why not?
So how do you purchase your supplements like that and your herbs?
My physician has her own online pharmacy and I buy them that way. Yeah, I'm kind of leery of going through Amazon or anything. I want to go with the real brand names that I know are pure.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've heard. Although my physician has sent me to Costco for certain things, like magnesium. She's like, "Yep, that one's just as good. Doesn't have a lot of additives."
Oh, that's good.
But I think you do have to have somebody who can guide you that way. Would you agree? So you're not just wasting money on things that aren't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you cover a lot of that in your training?
Yeah, we did. Especially with the training I did with Dr. Aviva Ram, because she was an herbalist before she ever became an MD.
Oh.
So she, oh my gosh, she knows everything about like every plant there is to know. And it's amazing to listen to her talk about the different herbs and how to use them and how not to use them, because it's a science. It's pure, it's a real ancient science, and it takes a long time of knowledge to know how to implement it and how to use it. And there's even like herbal pharmacies, because they can compound different herbs into each other and make different medicinal, recipes for you to use depending on what's ailing you at the time. And it's just a really natural, holistic way to go. And I know when I was first diagnosed with my thyroid, I tried going the natural route too, with using herbs and supplements and different concoctions that were being given to me by my physician as like my first step of trying to beat this disease. And unfortunately, it didn't work for me, but I know it does work for many, many women, which is really exciting to know that you can still do things fairly naturally and not necessarily have to be part of this whole pharmaceutical. Don't get me started on that.
Totally agree. And, it takes a little bit of research and work and, maybe even finding the right combination, but it's so worth it rather than just, a magic pill that can create other complications.
Yeah. Because I know anybody that has any kind of chronic health condition is probably deficient in some things. Otherwise, they wouldn't be where they are, right? I mean, so the key is to find out what those are and to nourish yourself for sure.
Yeah, with good food, good sleep, and exercise. Absolutely.
And I think, I think for me, and to take it personal, the exercise is really doable. I know the food is really doable for me, but my big thing still with sleep is I'm addicted to my electronics. I am so addicted to my electronics.
Well, let's see. So what week will we be doing electronics as part of our challenge? I know. I think that's a really good idea. And I do think that's probably going to be the hardest one to manage, like it'll have to be consciously leaving it in another room or something.
Yeah. Or even one of the tips we used in our group was to set alarm to go to bed, which is usually you set an alarm to wake up, but maybe I could set an alarm to put it down.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. As a reminder. And I think I'm disciplined enough to do that. I mean, I think that might be how I'll be able to manage that piece. But I mean, it's a true addiction. It's like being addicted to Diet Coke. It's terrible. I can't, it's just an addiction, plain and simple.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great example though, because remember how addicted you were to Diet Coke and you were able to break that habit. I had the same one, now I can't even tell you the last time I had a Diet Coke. So I have used that, with other things to say, gosh, if I could break that habit, this one's probably not that different. I just have to, make it a conscious effort. So we're going to help each other through that next week.
Sounds good.
This week, we're just dealing with caffeine.
Got it. Or any other thing that you might want to implement. But caffeine is the big...
for me, it's the caffeine. And I'm really, I feel like I don't even drink coffee. So it should be easy, but we'll see how it keeps progressing.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker either, but I do drink my tea. So
yeah, me too. It's that iced tea, and I love that taste. But I'm willing to try it if it means that I can sleep a little better.
And it also makes me wonder, because I know there is such a direct correlation between caffeine and the stress and anxiety we feel throughout the day, because it just revs you up and gets all those adrenaline and everything else going. But kicking that habit and getting it out of, or even just reducing it to 3 p.m. and having that whole stress cycle eliminated is going to help with sleep. It has to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking also, that, just just by being more aware of it, it becomes more of a decision instead of just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And, it doesn't mean that it will be perfect every day of every week, but, you break that habit or the cycle, it's bound to have some benefits.
Yeah, and it feels so good to be in control, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, I like being in control.
I know. Like, you can manage this. I can do that. That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a good way, just becoming more mindful. I mean, that's really what it is, instead of moving through life on autopilot.
Right. So you're really into mindfulness. And so what can you help us to achieve when it comes to sleep? Just, do you meditate before you sleep?
I have found this one exercise that I've used. I've actually taught this to a few groups, and I find that it really helps me. It's called the STOP method.
Oh.
Have you heard of that?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so it's so easy. The acronym is STOP, and S stands for stop. Just stop whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like if it's, your mind is racing or you're having anxiety, just stop, take a pause. The T is take a deep breath. So everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. O is to observe. So just observe what's going on. Is this, these thoughts, that are taking me down this rabbit hole, or just observing the emotion that you might feel at that moment. And then P is to proceed with kindness.
Oh.
Instead of beating ourselves up, which we're so good at.
Oh, yeah.
Is just to say, okay, I'm aware of whatever it is, in the O phase. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm aware, I can proceed with kindness. And, it's amazing. It's like 30 seconds at the most. But that has helped me if I wake up in the middle of the night with my mind racing, like, oh, I forgot to do this, or, I've got to do that, or don't forget, or, why did I say this? All of those things.
Right.
It's just really helped me. I don't know that it directly helps me go back to sleep, but I think the deep breath helps me to breathe and then settle back into sleep.
Oh, I like that.
So we can put that on the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
That to help people remember. But it's so easy. We all know about stop signs. So that's how it's helped me to remember how simple, that activity is.
Mm-hmm. It brings up a whole nother discussion probably for another day. But like, why do we wake up in the middle of the night and have like our whole list of worries, things that we didn't accomplish or things that we have to do? Why can't we just like let that go? So this is like a great little tool to use to just kind of be aware that, what, this is bullshit. Just let it go.
Well, and the thing is, sometimes they can't be things that we let go because whatever, they have to happen or whatever. But, another little tip, and I haven't had to use this lately, is to have a pad and paper, not your phone and not your iPad, but a pad and paper, and just make those notes so that you can really let them go, because they'll be written down for you in the morning when you wake up.
Right.
And, that's a helpful tool that I've used.
I've used that too as part of a nighttime routine where I just kind of have a worry list, and I just kind of list things and then they're out of my head.
Yeah.
And I don't think of them again.
It's hard to keep it all in our head for sure. So then we worry about not remembering it.
Right. And there's something about the process of pen to paper with your brain.
Yeah. And that's really, a good point.
Yeah.
Let's put that on the schedule for next week or sometime soon.
Absolutely.
We can do some more of those activities to help all of us.
Yeah. The one that I kind of my real go-to when I'm waking up at my stupid 3 a.m. is meditating. Oh. And that really does just settle me back down and I can fall asleep. And it's taken me a while to figure that out, to use that as a tool. Because when I first started meditating, and I meditate basically with TM, they always said not to do it at night. But I do, and it works.
And it works, puts you back to sleep. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a much better exercise than a lot of things you could be doing.
Yeah.
So one thing was curious about, because you mentioned that on I think it was on our Facebook page about going outside and looking at the stars and the sense of awe. So, which sounded amazing. Sorry,
those are my dogs.
That's okay. Did that help you go back to sleep, or did that keep you awake longer?
Oh, Michelle, it was like I've never taken a sleeping pill, but I'm assuming it was like taking a sleeping pill, because I stepped outside, going out my bedroom door, the deck is right there. I could see the stars through the upper part of my window that doesn't have covers on it. And I just decided I was going to go out there. It was a beautiful, completely clear night. And I just gazed up into the heavens, and I swear I saw like these galaxies. It was incredible seeing the night sky like that in the middle of the night. And I was just like dumbstruck at the beauty of what I was looking at. And I only stood out there for, it seemed like a long time, but in reality, it was probably like 5 minutes. And I came back in, I fell right to sleep. It was almost like a drug. And then, of course, the first thing I do is I grab my iPad in the morning, right? And at the very top of my Facebook feed was that article that I posted. Wow. And it was all about finding awe in life. And I read that article and it was like, that's exactly what it was. It was like my moment of awe.
That's awesome.
I know. So, I don't know. I'm going to kind of keep that one in my back pocket too, when I just feel like I need to get up and move and go outside. There's so much beauty to be had in nature that, and I've always found it extremely calming. That's one reason why I love the ocean, just to walk on the beach. It's so calming to my nervous system. So, I'm right there with you. Or even just hearing the waves from a distance. There's just something about that it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a pretty cool experience that you had right here, right now.
And I kind of wonder, like, I'm not a camper, but what it must be to be camping, where there's no night lights at all, what you actually really see up when you look up.
Oh, yeah. I've recently done we camped because we were rafting the Grand Canyon, which was a bucket list item in the fall. And it was amazing, just amazing to see, all the stars when there's no streetlights around and things like that. Oh my gosh.
I can't. One of my bucket lists is to go to Iceland and see the northern lights in Iceland.
Me too.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Let's plan a trip.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Oh, the pictures are so amazing.
Yeah. Well, this has been another fun week, I guess, or another fun day, I should say, not a week. We could keep talking and talking about all these good things, but probably should wrap it up for our listeners.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Michelle. And thanks for all the research you did. I'm going to really keep that in the back of my mind, that I don't have to be going out there walking, an hour each day. I can only do half that amount and still get the same benefit, not only physically, but sleep-wise too. That's huge.
And, I just thought of something else, like if you really want more, you could do that twice a day,
There you go.
Like just instead of saying like, oh, I don't have an hour right now, but, if you went 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, there you got 20 minutes. So,
yep, there you go.
I have a feeling that we could all benefit from that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you can, take a moment and give us a review. And please join the VIP room in Facebook for more discussion and insights. You can find us at Graceful Healing Podcast VIP room. See you there, and see you next time.